that is a whole other thing right now that we best not fixate at the moment.
Hmm.
Trust me, any talks of that will spiral the conversation off to a completely different point. You all came here for a reason.
When Halaser says, by the way, that she's not touching anything, Gwenael might spot the mysterious veiled woman picking up some sort of bauble on the other side of the room, um,
See, I've got
which
the
may or
issue.
may not be magical. um, I don't know. How do you react to that? She's looking at it like shaking it.
Please, madam. I come up and like take that from her, put it down. So, can you refrain from touching my sensitive relics and artifacts at the
Oh,
time?
I'm
Can I
sorry,
move
Sam.
quickly and sort of usher her away? Sorry.
I have some
Oh, no.
sensitive things out right now. Perhaps if I wasn't in such a rate, I'm in the process of getting ready to move to a senior enchanter's office, which is not much different. It's just up a little bit higher.
Uh, Apologies. She doesn't speak Kingston.
Um, uh, she looks at some Orlais, Orleans, no?
Tavine. And it's a little broken. She's must be from one of the. I can talk to her. And
Razik-
yeah, I would probably say intervene to Razakale to stop touching things.
Razakil responds back to you in her dialect. She responds with words that you recognize as you recognize magic. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You recognize her say big or a lot. The word for big or a lot.
Should I make like intellect roll or something like that? Have linguistics does.
Gwenael does not have to roll. He knows the same thing that Andrea knows. You don't have to bother rolling.
Okay.
So everything I'm saying to Andrea, you know. And the other thing she says is pretty. She ends the conversation with pretty.
Yeah. So I smile at that and I say, yes. Big magic. Don't touch. Just don't touch.
She raises her hand and say, "K." Okay.
Very good. I was wondering if I could try and do maybe the largest concentration of magic is in the room.
Sure. Roll a magic roll, and I will
It has to be blinded.
Yeah.
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 Roll a.
Andrea's just gonna fall over.
Based on your roll, I will let Ray decide what you get from that roll. Go ahead.
Would she be able to detect with this type of thing? I don't know. So that there's something a little bit different about me. That I'm a glorious abomination.
I will leave that up to you. Whatever you want.
That's it. You definitely see like a mini pretty like the whole room would be like almost illuminated with different types of glowing things. That's quite bright when there's a magic straw all over the place. Including even though he doesn't seem to be using any magic, Gwenhael and stuff like that, which I imagine almost like kind of a thread connecting him to something otherworldly, and sort of the thing that would be like his connection to the spirit of hope, but something different as well that's about him. That's as well as an odd in the corners that I imagine where would be the otherworldly stuff, though a glow from the veil, but nothing from that. It almost seems dark in comparison, in spite of compared to a lot of the magical things I'd imagine.
Okay.
So it's some area. Also, the shard is quite weird for that because I imagine the way that magic thing works for that, it's like an aurora borealis. It's like fading brilliant and not quite there and stuff like that because it's not fully connected to this world.
Mm-hmm. Hugh, by the way, says something to Cedric, and he asks, "Cedric, does this room make you uncomfortable?"
Oh yeah.
Cedric would respond a little, but I trust a hero of Thetis, so I can make do.
He'll nod at that.
Hero, yeah.
As far as Cedric knows, yes. As after he says that to Hugh, Cedric would actually take one of the seats at the round table.
Okay.
And just sit there patiently for everyone else. Whenever they're done.
She's pretty much done because she can't play with the magic corner. Meh. So she will just go. Well, actually, I guess that really depends on Andrea. What's my darling pilgrim doing?
Well, I was wrangling Razakale, but I'm just eyeing everything with excitement. My eyes lingering a little longer on the very interesting aura going on the desk and on Gwenhael as well. Just very interesting, but I'm not saying anything. Or touching anything. I'm just very intently looking at everything.
Why don't we sit?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I'll go sit.
All right,
Theo's
now she'll
still-
go sit.
Theo's still holding up the smoother skin potion, like, you could fix this. I think we could do something with this.
I'd love to compare notes. I have not been able to figure out how to help the student make it, and I do like having nice skin.
Absolutely, I believe I could help you with this. So he notices everyone's sat down. It's like, right, yeah. He puts it down.
He's a dwarf, right?
He's a dwarf, yeah.
Yeah, I would. Thank you, Sarada, dwarf.
Yeah. You're welcome. And he joins, as he sees everyone else sitting down, he kind of shuffles into a seat of his own.
Did Razakale sit?
I think Razakale will join everybody else when she sees that everybody else is sitting, and she'll have a seat, and Hugh will sit next to Cedric. Esbjorn will plop down. Actually, what Esbjorn does, Esbjorn kind of forces his way into the center of the room, and then he plops down, because Kenna, it is very common whenever the people of the Avarians get together for a ceremony, for them to sit around in a circle, and the hold beast is in the center for everyone to see. So I think the hold beast thinks that this is his time to shine now. So Esbjorn takes a seat right in the middle of the circle, and just kind of puffs out his chest and like looks up with his head held high as if, yes, notice me. Notice me.
What did that? The bear?
I'm sorry? The bear did that. Yeah, the bear did that, yes.
Yeah, the bear's being an attention whore.
He's being an attention, yes, exactly.
Is this a cultural thing?
He just wants you to show him a little respect. Just give him a little ooh and awe, and toss him a little food, and then he'll go to sleep.
That's not a problem at all. Magnifique.
Yes, well done, Sir Bear.
Like you mean it, Theo.
Oh,
It's very smart.
he's
There we go.
rolling his eyes.
Really good
Holding
bear.
the bear.
When you do that, the bear gives off a very loud, majestic roar, as if to show off, which Gwenhael may or may not be worried that might have woken up a few of the surrounding sleeping mages.
He's not too concerned. Him working on projects late into the night with a few explosions here and there, especially when Cogs was over, has disturbed them time before. They're used to it.
Okay.
Usually, sorry.
Malcolm, Malcolm stayed behind in the storeroom, so he's gathering like preparing the rest of his stuff, and he's going to be turning in at the night. There's a guest room specifically for him, so he's not in this meeting. He's just letting you all do your adventuring conversation. So
Malcolm said that you all needed to speak with me, so now is the time. Please tell me it is what I can do for you.
We were just looking for lodging for the night.
Yes.
It's very late.
Just lodging.
We have somehow ended up here through an alluvium. We didn't intend to come to the White Spire, but we have found ourselves here in the dead of night.
Zemira.
The mirror.
Yes.
Yes, he had told me about that and how you have disappeared, and by the grace of whatever, you are back.
Yep, we're back.
Yes.
We're fine. No big deal. Just
My
the
bad.
lodgings.
Where did you go, pray tell, if you don't mind my asking?
We went to the crossroads. It's a. And I look at Alistair like, can I please just geek out on magic right now? Like,
She's not gonna out and like, no, but she's just gonna give that look.
It's like a pocket in the Fade. I've read about it before. It's an ancient elven thing, but for teleportation and such. And I look at Alistair like, I did good, right? Yeah.
She's gonna be very subtle about it, but you will see the corner of her mouth turn up. So yeah, you did good.
Cedric's gonna eye Andrea and just be like, well, what? Like, he's not gonna say
Who are
anything.
you?
It's like, you know so much more about this. Why aren't you saying it?
Theo's going to pick up that nobody else is saying anything, and he's just going to, because I think he rolled really high on his knowledge roll on this subject, so he's just going to say, we ended up at the crossroads. It's a place between the between here, this plane, and the Fade, and we found ourselves in a place with many alluviums, many of which were closed. And this was one of the open ones. We came through. And one of them has an arrow through it. If it was one of yours, I'm sorry.
Do you have much knowledge about the network, sir?
Do I what?
Do you have much knowledge about the crossroads, sir?
I wouldn't be surprised if Gwenhael did, but I'm not sure how much he does, so shall I roll for that, find out?
Yes, please.
Okay, show my hand a little bit, something I don't show lots of people, but I can trust them. Can I use my special little arm thing to help me do that, since I have a bunch of research material in that I can pull up instantly to get my research bonus?
If you want to, although I don't know if that'll help you with something. It only helps you with things that it knew from that world. It doesn't know anything from this world.
I've been learning how to transcribe, as I said before, to transcribe all of my knowledge and books that I have in there, in my world, and so I can do it as well.
Sure.
So I can have all my information on me.
Sure, I'll let that give you a +2 to this roll. So what you visually see is that Gwenhael, like a magical-looking, I guess, out of character, it's the omni-tool. It's an omni-tool that was given to him
Okay.
from the Mass Effect campaign. Gwenhael has it. So he pulls up an omni-tool, not that you know what that is, but you know what it looks like, and he starts punching or typing into something while he's almost like he's casting a spell, but it's a really weird way of casting a spell as far as you can tell.
Yeah.
can I sense that it's not magic?
You can sense that it's not magic. This is something entirely that you have no idea what this
Okay.
is.
Cedric, underneath the table, is gonna put his hand on his battle axe, just in case. Like, he's not pulling it out or anything, and he's just kind of subtly doing it.
Besides everything that Andrea explained to you, you know that they can only be opened by a key, and they are very rare, and the crossroads appear differently to elves than they do to non-elves, and I think that's all that you know about the crossroads.
We don't get a lot of the physical traits, but do we get any of the spiritual traits as half-elves?
I think as half-elves, you do see the Alluvion Crossroads as an elf would. So you would, yes.
At least occasionally when you're out of the corner of your eye.
I would say so, yes. So it's pretty curious that these people seem to have, miraculously just happen to have the key to this specific Alluvion. Whatever that key might be.
The elusive. Oh, I just love how so many exciting things seem to land right on my doorstep. I'm sorry.
It is exciting, yes.
Although many people would say the benefit of being a legendary hero or respected member of the tower is the sway over business and all the power for that and stuff. No, the excitement is the aspect of being able to continue having all this excitement and make a difference. Oh, this is big. I can sense it. Sorry. I wasn't always like this. I blinked, Owen.
Big. How big? Says the dwarf.
Oh, I could not say. As I say, only the Maker knows. But you will soon find out, and I hope that I can help when you do. What did you see by going your trip into the crosswords?
A lot of lots of stuff. I saw lots of stuff.
At this point, Halaser's just being quiet because she's kind of looking at the rest of the group because she would have really liked to have like a moment alone, just like, oh, we've got the soon-to-be senior enchanter here. Should we tell him everything? Do you have any reason I shouldn't? But she hasn't had a chance to talk to her team yet, so right now she's just being quiet, Judgy McJudgerton, and just kind of.
Well, you can interject, Halaser, and say maybe we should turn in for the night and continue this conversation later if you want to.
She was going to do that just kind of as a last, kind of as a last resort. She's not going to shut up any of her teammates in case they need to say anything.
Okay.
So Theo would just answer the literal question, which is, what did you see at the crossroads? He would just go, a lot of mirrors. A lot of Alluvians. As I say,
Can I do a perception empathy roll? Just notice the way that Halaser is acting.
Do you have any reason to believe that Halaser would be acting a certain way? Would that?
Well, they've been one of the most quietest, and they're making weird faces. So, and Gwenhael has empathy as perception, so I figured he's good at picking that up. So he might.
Okay.
I can make a roll with it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
11.
No, not with an 11.
She's probably just being a weird priest. Blazing symbol of Andraste. It's a religion thing, I'm sure.
Right.
So this misreading is like, I'm sorry if this is making you uncomfortable. If you guys would like to talk about tomorrow, we'll have some time to adjust. Please?
We're all just a bit tired. It's been a long day.
It has. I apologize. Perhaps some sleep
I really
would do
didn't
us
mean
all
to
some
bear
good.
down on you. Ooh, that was a pun. Sorry.
Little side glance to the bear.
Razakil kind of yawns and she says, "Sleep, cute, soft. Sleep, cute, soft." She says in King's tongue.
She wants a bed.
I knew better when I couldn't hear her.
Agree with her.
Yes, and I would say, okay, excellent, and I would indicate to her trying my best and to Vinny, this way? Yes?
Any thanks.
So Gwenhael, there are guest quarters nearby that you can put them in. You probably can open up a couple rooms, maybe put boys and girls in 2 separate rooms. Except I don't know how you want to handle that, but there's the guest quarter consists of multiple beds.
Cool.
You're not really sure what you're going to do with the bear necessarily, but
He's going with me.
On the way, Gwenhael stops into a closet area and pulls out a couple of extra rugs and rugs and such, and carries them with him, so then sets them down for the bear to lie on.
Aww.
Resurgence goes up to one of the curtains, and it looks like she's starting to try to tear the curtains off of the whatever it's using to hang it up.
Gwenhael says them to stop, but he says cease to Vinny because it's probably much more word that he would know. Cease. Thank you.
Stop. Resurgence, don't touch.
Resurgence looks towards your direction, looks confused. Sleep, soft, cute, she says as she puts her face up
it's
against
like having an infant.
up against the curtain.
I'm gonna go and usher her to the bed and just sort of, here, sleep.
She places her hand on it and she says, "Oh, soft." And then she
Yes.
pushes up against it, and it kind of bounces a little bit. Her hands bounce off the bed, and then she has this very big grin on her face. And then she hops onto the bed and just starts bouncing on it, very giddy, like a little.
The stone has a very odd sense of humor.
Yes.
Some
Can I sort
Pontatica.
of lay her down and tuck her in, like, sleep.
He turns to Gwenhael. Can I please see my room, please?
This way. Again, I'm sure a lot of you have played Origins, so I imagine the rooms are kind of similar here.
Yeah.
They just have them walled off separately for a group of beddings and such.
Right.
So just lead you to the other side. Has some more rooms.
Is it guys and girls or how
Yeah, the way I imagine it is it'd be the wall, even though it does nothing to really separate things with that, is separated off by a wall. But you just gotta walk 10 feet around the wall.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
Because illusions like to pretend they care about uncouthness, but
Yeah. Okay. So Gwenhael will very exhaustively, because it's been a very tiring day not only for him but for all the rest of you, he will leave, and the rest of you can do whatever you want before bed if you want to do anything before bed.
I want to
Sure.
talk to Alice there.
Yes.
he actually before he leaves, I was like, if any of you needs anything, there's a friend of mine, a Templar here. He's a young Templar named Tallow, Elvish. If you need anything from him, he's always happy to fetch things for people and show you around. He's picked up the place quite quickly.
Thank you.
Your hospitality is appreciated, sir.
Yeah.
Cedric wanted to go speak with Halasair privately, I believe.
Yep.
Okay,
That works.
go ahead.
Yeah, before meeting up with Cedric, since she's in the ladies' dorm anyway, she's going to say, she's just going to say a quick, we should all meet up before we speak with the senior enchanter again, either tonight or tomorrow morning. So,
Agreed.
all right, so yeah, then she would head out, and I'm sure Cedric is very able to find her.
Yes.
Yes. So Cedric would approach Halasair and just say, I'm not sure what was going on back there with our mutual friend.
Yes.
I know that she knows a lot more about the Alluvions, but she seemed to be holding information back. Is there?
Yes.
Is there a problem?
Potentially. How private is their conversation at this point? What is the chance of onlookers or worse, on listeners?
You can definitely go. I'm sure there's a corner that you can go to that if anyone was listening in, you could clearly see them approach you. So
All right.
they would have to be very crafty to not you to notice that they're listening in on you.
Great. Okay, so in answer, she'll start going towards there and just walk with me, and then she'll lead him towards that space.
He will follow.
All right, and I'm going to keep my voice a little bit more audible because I don't want to mess with anyone's ability to hear me, but she will be keeping her voice down as she says this.
Yeah.
Our friend is from Tevinter, very obviously. We do not know. We know the senior enchanter is a hero. We also know that we are in a circle, and we are in a circle right at the seat of the divine. And a Tevinter mage in our midst would not be welcome. So she is my protege. She is a pilgrim sent to learn, and I am protecting her throughout this. So she's doing a very good job of holding back. I'm doing this to protect her. If you see the issue.
Yes, I was just a little confused. At first.
Understandably.
I can, now that you have said this, I can understand.
Very well. I just do not want... Not all Templars are kind towards mages, and not all Chantry folk are kind towards Tevinters or mages.
At the Templar, when she says the word Templar, he'll kind of like wince just ever so slightly. But like ever so slightly. But if you were looking right at him, you could tell that he winced.
Roll a perception, Halisair.
Yeah, I don't want to automatically assume that one.
Oh, okay.
I see it. 17.
Okay.
With a stunt. Yeah.
You
Okay.
see every little twitch.
Yes,
Yes.
you notice. You notice him react to that in some way. Why? You're not sure. Contextually, you're not sure.
Just know this. I am not very trusting of mages.
I've learned.
And especially that you have also made the point that she is a Tevinter mage. If you need me, if she does anything weird during the night, you'll know where I'm staying.
I appreciate your offer, warrior. It is of course extended to you as well, but as far as our friend is concerned, I'm not worried about her.
Yes.
All men are the work of the Maker's hands, from the highest slaves to the lowest kings. I cannot assume that every mage is Maleficar, but I will say this. As she protects, so I protect. When someone will stand against us, our blades will sing as one. But I will not judge immediately.
For this reason, I am allowing myself to be in her presence, mainly because I trust you as a fellow Andrastian, and you seem very competent in battle. So,
As do you.
my thanks. So I trust you. I do not
And
trust
I
the
trust
mage.
you.
but I trust you.
All things in time, warrior. Truly. And she'll hold out her hand in friendship. The Maker's called you, just as he's called me. Let's be a light for these people.
He will meet her hand and shake it, and will say, with you as my shield, though I bear scars beyond counting, nothing can break me except your absence.
Clap, clap. Yeah, basically she's going to walk with Cedric on the way back and basically say the same thing she said to the ladies, just we need to talk before meeting again with the senior enchanter. Do we want this to happen tonight or tomorrow morning before we meet?
Yes, if you wish to talk more about our situation and what we should reveal or not.
We should just be all on the same
Yes.
ground.
We must be prepared.
Yes. Tonight or tomorrow?
You're all feeling tired, just so you know. It's
Yeah,
like 2 or 3
Yes.
in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm all for waking up early tomorrow, but I need
Then it's
some
done.
rest.
Sleep well, warrior. You've done well today.
As you. And he will nod.
And so will she, and she will just go.
Anything else happening before you turn in for the night? Okay.
Oh, you know the unspoken pillow fights, whatever.
Yeah. All right.
I was
Let's.
gonna say,
Go ahead.
I would probably bounce on the bed too.
Our 2 children.
Sorry, it made me nostalgic. Well, I remember my first time in a bed too, and it's awesome.
You actually hear a snicker coming from Razakale when you do that. She's watching.
And it's a fun interview.
Don't actually do it. Don't actually start a pillow fight. It's so easy to start.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of money getting those fancy pillows for them.
Yes. All right. So in that case, you guys will turn in for the night, and you actually rest incredibly well. Even though this is a circle tower, compared to the beds of other circle towers, this is a pretty luxurious by comparison. So everybody will heal up, their full health.
Yay!
What I want to try for you guys to start thinking about is, because it might actually apply to many of your characters, is what your normal morning procedure is. Morning ritual tends to be. And do you consider your character to be an early riser, late riser, average riser? I guess I'll just throw it out to the group. Like, does anyone consider themselves particularly early rising?
Yes.
Cedric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hal has an absolute morning routine.
Yeah.
Then that makes sense to be an early riser if you have a routine. If you have a
Yes.
routine. Did somebody else besides Cedric and Halasair think that they would be a relatively early riser?
Me. Kenna.
I would put him on the average riser. He wouldn't sleep in, but he wouldn't be particularly early either.
And how about Andrea?
Oh, wait. She'd probably sleep in. Because I
Yeah,
can't
you have
imagine.
yes, you do. You have the luxury to sleep in.
I think she would probably regularly sleep in with her job, and then she has an extensive beauty routine.
Cedric and Halasair will wake up at relatively the same time in the morning.
Sure.
Considering that you guys, however, did fall asleep around 2 or 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
how realistically early do you think you would actually rise this particular morning?
I'm willing to bet, like, she usually tries to wake up as close to dawn as possible, but she got to bed really late, so she's probably gonna be a couple hours late in getting up, but she's just gonna go about her normal morning thing.
Because I think if you don't have at least, like, I would say 6 hours of sleep, then you certainly will not heal. I guess in order to heal full, you'll need 8 hours of sleep to heal full. If it's 6 hours of sleep, I would say that you heal like 50% of what you normally would heal You know, anything below that, like you're talking 30% or below.
Right.
So,
Yeah. It's not part of her ritual that you must wake up with the sun. She just tends to listen more to what her body needs.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing, kind of with Cedric. It's like he doesn't wake up at like as soon as the first light of the sun comes up, but he normally he wakes up around like 7-ish, maybe 6.
Yeah.
But given this circumstance, it'd probably be like 8 or 9 to give him like
Yeah,
6
totally.
hours.
What I'll say is I'll let you guys wake up at 9 a.m.
Sounds good.
and not be. You can wake up at full health and not be fatigued.
Okay.
Because fatigue is probably what I'm going to be putting in, enforcing if you don't have enough sleep.
Sure. Yeah. Is there a spot in the ladies' dorm where, like, she can have some easy access to sunlight, or is that kind of a go out and take a walk around and find a good patch of sunlight somewhere thing?
Not a whole lot of windows, I imagine,
Yes.
but even in a nice tower like this, they have a garden that's nearby.
Yeah.
That'll work.
The curtains are normally just for show. They don't actually have. They don't always have windows behind them. It's just for decoration. They have curtains, but they don't actually have windows behind the curtains. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, just part of her morning routine is she just has a few private moments, just her in. Basically, she likes to have her own silence and just let the light bathe her for a while. So that's her private time.
If she wants a window, and I think it'd be a good place for it, I imagine that the what's it called? The temple's chantry has,
I was going to suggest, yeah.
and it's very quiet there too.
Marvelous. So that works out very nicely. She will go to the chantry and have her morning thing. And then after that, vigorous swordplay.
Well, I'll tell you what. In that case, let me do this for you then. All right. If you go to roll 20, you'll see that I've done you a favor.
Yay!
So, this is at least one of the floors of the White Spire, and I am dragging your character tokens onto the bottom right portion of the map. If you can see it, it is a large map, so you might have to zoom in quite a bit.
It's a very large map.
Oh, it's huge.
Oh, hey! All the fun
Nice.
things.
Okay.
Esbjorn will probably want to sit in the place where all the big beds are.
Well, yeah.
I think the
Where
girls
did you get this
outnumber.
map from?
I just did a search for, I think, D&D Palace map or D&D. I think it's Palace map is what I looked for.
It's nice. It's a good one.
Pretend that there actually is some sort of division, natural division between the girls and the boys. Well, I think the
Okay.
boys are going to be on the east side of the room, and the girls are going to be on the... Yeah, I think the boys are going to be the east side of the room, and the girls are going to be the south side of the room.
Just draw a line with the draw tool, buddy. I'm still trying to find it.
Oop, my screen just went blank. There we go. Okay, fixed.
I guess
Yeah.
the
Can I
open will
sleep on
be...
the same bed with Esbjorn?
You probably could.
Cuddled.
Yeah.
I'm so
Super
lost.
cuddled.
Keep changing, man.
All right, so that's probably where you guys slept for the night. Am I missing anyone? Is
Sure.
everyone there? Okay. And then if you care, Halasair, if you are able to zoom out on the map, the chantry is here. The chantry is over here.
Give me a sec.
Oh, I see it.
Let's try. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see your ping. Okay, so let's do it. There I am.
Yes.
That's a heck of a zoom out.
Yeah, it is a heck of a zoom out, but the
I
place
like
is
it
big.
though. All right. So yeah, basically she will try to find some sort of private, secluded area to allow the sun to her face.
Mm-hmm.
So that is her morning.
Cedric would be exercising.
In the
That's
courtyard?
her part too.
Yeah, either in the courtyard. I was thinking of like running the stairs.
Okay.
Not for long, you won't.
Going up and down the stairs in a hurried manner.
You look like a Templar and you're running up and down the stairs. Imagine when a Templar stop you. Now's not the time to run. Oh, I don't know you.
He's not. He doesn't look like a Templar. He's not dressed as a Templar. He has burgundy armor, but he doesn't have any Templar anything on at the moment. So, I just think while you're running up and down the stairs, one of the Templars actually does stop you and asks, "Are you supposed to be here?"
Cedric would look a little bit like kind of annoyed that he got stopped in the middle of him doing his daily exercise, and say, yes, I'm a guest of the soon-to-be senior enchanter.
Roll a persuasion.
I think I took a... Oh,
10.
well, okay.
It's a stunt, though. You have a stunt. So
Okay.
the average is 11, and with the stunt, I'll let you add another one to that, so it's 11 as the target number. He'll say, if it would be higher if you were looked like the mage, which you don't. So because you look like a warrior, the Templar will accept your explanation. He says he's going to double check with Gwenhael just to make sure, but he won't give you any trouble. So
That's fine. Okay.
Halasair, nobody gives you any trouble.
Of course not.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to role play while you guys are doing your daily routine, Halasair and Cedric, or are you guys okay?
Pretty much okay. After she has her moment to herself, she actually will actively go seek out Cedric, because she does morning limbering and practice, so she will invite him along.
Yeah. I was expecting like a stairwell close by.
Yeah, there's one right here.
Yeah,
South.
that's what I was thinking. Like I just
Okay.
you.
That's
going
fine.
through the-
Okay,
When
so-
when Halasair comes back from the chantry, Theoben
Yes.
will be waking up at that point, and I guess you said Kenna was the early riser too.
Yeah, but when I thought about it, she probably hasn't slept on a bed in a very long time.
Okay, so she's probably
So
sleeping
she-
in a little bit.
She's, yeah.
Do you think
definitely.
she would wake up with Theoben or wake up with Andrea?
Probably Andrea.
Okay.
She's super comfortable with her bear next to her.
Theoben, when you wake up, so right now let me move Cedric because he's at the staircase.
Oh,
When you
yes.
wake up, Theoben, you see that Hugh is up. He's wearing some sort of a simple shirt, which is what he wore underneath of his jacket. And he's sitting by the bed, and he seems to have a mortal and pestle. He's got a mortal and pestle that he's working on right now on the side of his bed.
He's feeling slightly awkward because he's woken up, and this is kind of the first time that him and Hugh have been in a small space together,
Yep.
just the two of them. So
Yep.
he makes eye contact and just kind of says, "Hello."
Good morning, Hugh says as he looks up. Did you sleep well?
Yeah. He shuffles uncomfortably and perks up onto the bed, sitting up. What are you doing?
He responds, I'm making more paint.
Uh-huh.
You can see right next to him he has a small pouch, and he takes out a small bluish crystalline thing, which you immediately see is lyrium. You recognize as lyrium. He puts it into the pestle, and then there's like a another pouch that contains what looks like a orangish looking plant, like crushed up plant that he sprinkles into the mortal pestle, and he continues to crush whatever concoction he's making.
Huh. What mixture is that?
Out of character, he will explain to you what the actual material. I don't know much about herbalism, but he tells you about some sort of plant that you know is normally used to make dyes or pigments traditionally. And so this actually looks nothing necessarily out of the ordinary, with the exception of the fact that he's mixing lyrium with this concoction.
Might I ask what that's for?
He says I am replenishing my pigmentation stores. When Cedric and I were being attacked the other day, I used up a good amount of them. I need to make more.
You used this?
He nods. Indeed.
Seems to be some sort of, well, magic paint mixture, he says as he's kind of looking over. I suppose he's moved slightly at this point to look closer at what he's doing.
You look closer at what he's doing, and you definitely can see the shiny specks, glittery specks of the crushed lyrium in with the paint. Hugh nods. Indeed, it is a form of magic crafting. Yes.
So you do magic with paint?
I am no longer able to cast magic on my own. That is why instead I am folding lyrium in order to create these enchanted pigmentations. They allow me to create objects from them, albeit temporarily.
Why can't you do magic on your own?
He says, I was cut off from the Fade when I became tranquil. The disconnection from the Fade makes it so that I can no longer cast spells, at least not traditionally.
He starts to look a little suspicious. Why were you made tranquil?
He studies you very carefully, and he says, it would be best not to speak of it.
You realize that answers like that can make one cautious.
He nods. Understandably. Sometimes one must hold back on the full truth in order to protect other people.
You took tranquility for someone else.
He returns back to grounding up the mortal and pestle, but he doesn't respond to what you said.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you to that. Thank you for talking with me.
He nods and continues on.
And he's gonna go over to find Andrea.
Who is snoring and sprawled on her back. Just...
What's Razakel doing?
Razakel's sleeping in. She's never slept in a bed before, so she's sleeping in.
Okay.
Gwenhael, you have woken up probably around the same time that Cedric and Halasair woke up. And there is a knock on your door, while you're in the middle of doing your morning routine.
Boop, boop. Right. Yes?
Brother, it's me. You hear a voice.
Oh, yes, come in, Connor.
You open the door, and in front of you is Connor Guerin Dubois, who is now in his late teens, I think? Yes.
Yeah,
He's now in his late teens.
Before, when the last crossover, it would at least be about a little over 5 years
Yeah.
later by the time we got to this point. So
Yeah, somewhere along those lines. Not quite hitting 20 yet, but getting there. Very close.
about the age that Gwenhael was when he started doing his questing.
Correct.
Good. I think Gwenhael started at 19.
Connor says, "Well, today's the big day. I just thought I would wish you well before the ceremonies."
Yes, it is. Thank you, brother. It's been a long time, and I've worked hard for this, and so that I wanted to make sure that I earned it. It's so easy for people like us, good family, to buy our way to such positions. Hard work is worth it, no?
Absolutely. Of course. He then asks, "So, Senior Enchanter, what's the first thing that you're gonna do?"
Well, I'd have a lot to do, the organizing to help continue pushing for many of the changes I'd like to make. I'd only be Senior Enchanter, but fortunately due to my position as Hero and Archmage, it has given me a lot of influence. And I want to make sure we move much forward with Cog's plans and to help unite Ethos.
He said, "Yes, I actually came here for that as well." And he hands you a letter. Looks like this one is from King Marcus himself in Navarra.
King Marcus? He looks at the...
He says, "I'm assuming it's about his stake in the airship plans."
Remind me, do you remember if they were able to join the council then? Or
Yes,
are they
they
still
were.
vying just for that?
The people who actually joined the council for that are obviously Empress Celine has a stake in it, obviously. So does Archon Redonis from Tevinter. So does King Marcus now in Navarra, but he also sent representatives to go to the council, as well as Sebastian Vale of Starkhaven and Maximilian of Kirkwall from the Free Marches.
Of course, be very adamant just because Tevinter may have more wealth and power right now, that doesn't give them any more sway in it.
Right, exactly. Tevinter has definitely been trying to... The Archon has definitely seems to be swaying things as much as possible. Empress Celine, kind of, but she doesn't feel like she necessarily has to because you're a Legion, so you're on my side, is what Empress Celine is doing. King Marcus, as of late, has been sending you... This actually is probably like the third letter in the last couple of weeks that he sent you, and it's more just like... You know what this is. It's more like he's appealing to you. He's trying to get on your good side. You know, is there anything that I can do to help you move this along? If there's anything, then just let me know. And yeah, like everyone seems to want to try to one-up each other as much as they can. The only people who don't seem to be particularly trying to win your graces over other people is the Free Marches people, Maximilian and Sebastian Vale.
This is not a chance for making wealth. I just wish these people would get that. This is a chance to help standardize and make Ethos better. These people, I hate politics.
I know, brother. It's you have a very idealistic vision. You have a very idealistic view, and I think that's really admirable. It's one of the things that I respect the most about you. But people, much less nations, they can't change overnight. It has to start somewhere, Connor says.
I know. And that's what I'm working at, yeah. Is this... As much as I'm aware of the realities, as you say, I am idealistic. So sometimes I wish those things would happen a little bit quicker. No matter how many times and many times I can put forward reason to people, greed gets the better of them, and they try to rush things before they are ready.
Speaking of which, Connor says, have you seen Cogs recently? When was the last time you spoke with him?
I spoke to him maybe 3 weeks ago.
How is he doing? I heard that, didn't Maximilian mention being able to sponsor some of the first production line? Hosting some of the first production lines?
Yes, one of the first productions for getting trained for that, and making sure the first people who put this forward are ones that would, for sure, and agree to use it for the betterment of exchange of medical and trade supplies, as standardized for trade port to cities and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get ports built as many places as possible at once.
He nods.
I am trying to get as many people as possible to help him with the business and whatnot. Cogs is an inventor, not a businessman, and I am a noble mage. This is a little bit beyond both of us, but at least I'm hoping as much as possible with the bureaucracy.
Well, I don't envy you, brother. Good luck with that. It seems like...
I've been having a good merchant friend help us go over some of the things. It's very complex.
I'm sure that'll help. I don't envy you getting pulled into so many different directions. By the way, he says, do we have visitors in the Spire? I thought I saw this random stranger running up and down the staircase for some reason, Connor says.
Oh, yes. We did get some guests. Our friend did bring some interesting people. Something is going to happen. It's quite interesting. I just hope it doesn't ruin too many things I'm planning.
And I could have sworn, is Plim here? I thought I heard some sort of roar last night when I was in bed.
Oh, well, okay, this is interesting. Bear with me. Oh, God,
Bear with me. Yes, bear with me.
Why do I keep doing that? Yes, one of them is Abba, and they have a bear with them.
A bear. Like, in the woods, a bear.
Yes, a bear. Big, majestic, scary creature.
Brother, does First Enchanter know about this bear? I don't think he would approve.
It'll be fine. Edmond is great. He'll understand. He looks to the
Right.
side real quickly upwards.
All
Clearly
right.
showing like he did not think about that.
I
He
mean,
like looks upwards to the side.
brother, you are about to become senior enchanter. I'm hoping that nothing happens that would sour that. Connor says, looking a little worried.
I'm sure it was when they were in here that the first enchanter was informed, and of course I was going to talk to him about it. Let him know what's going on. I certainly didn't forget to do that.
All right, brother. Well, if you don't mind, I think I'm gonna go get some breakfast.
I'll be there in just a moment. I'm going to finish up on some work here and pop in somewhere else.
He will nod and he will turn to leave.
Can I look for Malcolm?
Are you gonna wander outside of the room? Malcolm's not sleeping in that specific quarter.
Yeah. Like, if he went to look for him, would he find him?
Roll a... Are you just gonna be visually finding him, or do you plan on actually asking around? Like, are you gonna talk to the mages or the Templars if they've seen a merchant man running around?
Yeah, if anybody looks kind of high or official enough to answer, then
That's
yeah,
fine.
he would.
Then roll a communication focus.
Okay.
I guess that would be investigation. Communication investigation. 12?
Yep.
I will say that Malcolm is having breakfast, actually, in the dining area, which is on the map right now. I will place him at the chair. I didn't have time to fully populate this map, so just pretend that there's several mages. There's dozens of mages in the dining area right now, and
That's
Malcolm
the-
is
The hall on the right, yeah?
Yeah, on the east side. You can see adjoining the kitchen area, which is north of your room.
Oh, okay.
So he's sitting, dining. Maybe he's chatting with some of the mages around him.
Okay. Is the seat...
He seems to be a very pleasant man. He seems to make friends pretty easily, so...
Yeah. Is the seat opposite him taken? Can he...
No, it's not.
Okay. So he's gonna stroll in. He's gonna, as he's halfway there, try to wave to Malcolm to get his attention. Or, none the kind of like that. Kind of like a...
The gentleman looks up. He smiles when he recognizes you, and he waves you towards him.
Okay. Sits down. Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Dwarf, he says. I hope that you slept well.
I did, thank you, and please, call me Theo, or Theoben, if you like.
Theo, have a seat. Have you been to Orlais before, just out of curiosity?
I have, in fact, yes. Many times.
Then you must know about their exquisite cheese blintzes. He says as he points to a plate in front of him. Would you like me to order you up some, my friend?
That would be wonderful, thank you.
I believe today the flavors are raspberry or lingonberry.
I think I'll go for raspberry.
Okay. He will go ahead and walk over and fetch, I guess, some of them from the kitchens, and he will place it down in front of you, and it actually has it's a cheese blend, so it's a pancake crepe-like dessert that's wrapped around a cream cheese or ricotta-like cheese, and drizzled over top of this is this berry sauce. It looks quite decadent. There's actually a canister next to you that contains powdered sugar if you would like to add more powdered sugar on top.
Yeah, he'll have all the powdered sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, so as he's doing that, he says, so, you've been in Orlais long?
He says, well, I'm making a stop, correct. I have some trading that I needed to get done here. And then after that, I am making my way over to Navarra.
Navarra? What is your business there? Usual merchant or particular?
Yes, Navarra is one of the places that the Payne dynasty, I really need to change that name. Maybe Payne's...
He chuckles.
I think my son mentioned something about Payne's practical products or something along those lines.
I like it. Alliteration, it's catchy.
Yes, I thought that might actually be best. I'll have to talk to Gerard about that, about making that more official. But we're trying to extend our reach to as many of the major cities as we can, and Navarra is one of the places that I wanted to appeal to King Marcus for.
Absolutely. Sounds like a worthwhile endeavor. Gerard, is that your son?
Indeed, it is. He says as he beams, as if he's very proud to have a son like him.
Aww.
And he says, I believe right now he is setting up relations over in New Denerim in Ferelden.
Ah, what's the word from there?
He says, well, apparently they've almost completely established the capital there, formerly known as Redcliffe, if you didn't know. And I believe the council right now is trying to determine who the next, I guess, monarch of the land is going to become. I'm not sure if they're going to appoint them or if there is going to be some sort of landsmeet election. Who knows?
In all honesty, I'm quite concerned for my home. Actually, it seems that I came through a mirror and then ended up here, and it occurs to me I'm not even sure how much time has passed. So I was wondering, had you heard anything from up that way towards Frostbacks?
I'm afraid that I only passed through Orzammar. Maybe I think the last time I was there was about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
As far as I could tell, King Kine has been doing a great job of opening commerce. I, of course, am very, very appreciative of that amongst the dwarves and the surfacers. And beyond that, I can't say that I know that much more news. Sorry about that.
That's don't worry about it. It was a long shot. It was more important really for me to say thank you for assisting me and my party in getting us lodging for the night.
Oh, he says, there's no need to thank me. He says, I'm just a merchant. I just thought
a merchant. My good man. Economies could not run without us. Don't forget that.
You starting to sound a lot like my son, he says.
He sounds like a very wise boy, and whenever his son comes up, his face kind of falters a little bit, but he tries to keep a smile on.
I think that Malcolm will probably notice that, and he'll tilt in his head and he'll say, "Is there something wrong, friend Theo?"
Wrong? But why would you say that?
You just seem to, your demeanor seemed to change slightly when I was talking about Gerard.
Oh, my apologies, good sir. In another life, I might have been a father myself.
Ah, I see, he says.
It's clear that you're very proud of your son, and I don't want to take anything away from that. Please, forget it. Forget it.
He says, not at all, not at all. Trust me, I understand. My wife and I, it took time for us to finally have Gerard. It was quite an arduous and emotionally draining process. Believe me, I understand.
You were indeed lucky to have that time, good sir. My wife has passed.
He looks down and says, I'm very sorry to hear that. My apologies.
That is fine. I don't wish for us to speak of such sadness, but it is refreshing to see another merchant like myself.
He says,
and one of such good caliber. I browsed your wares.
I just wanted to tell you that I understand as well. I, too, lost my wife to the Blight.
Oh, my good sir, I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't dig up any old wounds.
It's been a long time. She unfortunately was caught in the middle, within the early stages of the Blight within the first year. Myself and Gerard were devastated, so we're hoping to make right with her moving forward. He goes through his coat and he pulls out what appears to be it's a photograph painting, like painting, and he shows a picture of a very nice looking woman, probably in her late 40s, I would say. Nice looking woman.
Oh. She is beautiful.
Thank you.
Shall we toast to them, my friend? And he picks up a glass.
Of course, he says, absolutely. And he picks up a glass that he has. It looks like it contains orange juice, and then he clinks the glass with you.
Okay. And Thea will drink it and start to go on to more pleasant topics of what he sells, how long he's been a merchant, and things like that. Small talk.
Sounds good. So Edmund is first enchanter of the White Spire in Orlais, and a member of the Equitarians. The Equitarians are the dominant faction in the College of Magi in general, and Ferelden's Circle in particular. They promote a moderate and popular viewpoint that mages must use their abilities in a responsible and ethical manner, regardless of chantry law. Equitarians believe that all mages should help people and follow a set of rules and ideals. In practice, this usually means operating within the more reasonable tenets of chantry law. Now, First Enchanter Edmund has been showing signs lately of slowing down. He's not quite sickly, but he definitely is showing his age. And Gwenhael, when you ask to speak with him, he will of course allow you to come into his quarters or his office, and he moves in a very slower pace, and will say to you in a relatively hoarse or raspy voice, say, "Junior Enchanter Dubois, good morning. I trust you are excited about today's ceremonies."
Very. Best Enchanter, come on. He hands him some tea. Extra honey for you.
Thank you, he says. Thank you, Gwenhael.